Welcome back to Skull and Bones. In this video we are going through the patch notes for Year 1 Season 1 Raging Tides. At the time of you seeing this video, the season is very close. I mean, like within the next hour it's going to release. And if you guys are interested in having a look at every single category here, because there's going to be some like miscellaneous, I'll skip a couple of things. I'll just go through the most important ones so the video is not like 25 minutes long. So if you are interested in checking out everything, I'll leave this article linked in the description. So what's new? In Skull and Bones' first season, prepare to clash against new rivals as tensions rise in Raging Tides. Battle the vicious Felipe La Peste, the Plague King, and his fleet of pestilence. For seasonal gameplay, Plaguebringers, the fleet of Pestilence's advanced guards were spawned throughout the world. Defeat them to obtain Plaguebringer captain heads. As you sink more Plaguebringer ships, you progressively anger the fleet of Pestilence, and then past a certain hostility level, they might just send a mighty foe after you. It's up to you to sink them and collect the rare item they carry. Then when it comes to Kingpin bounties, starting week 2, which is March the 5th to the 26th, 2024, we're going to have Jaws of Retribution, so it's going to introduce a new sea monster. And then starting week 5, so when the Jaws of Retribution ends, March 26th to April 16th, we're going to have Anguish from the Abyss. We're going to have a brand new Mang Odin, so a new ghost ship. Then when it comes to seasonal contracts, there are going to be 3 unique contracts: the African Ailment, the Pursuing Plague, and the Encroaching Epidemic. It says to complete these contracts to receive the seasonal vanities for your captain and your ship. Then there's going to be 1 repeatable contract, Pest Control. Deliver 2 Plaguebringer captain heads to Robin Blackwood to earn Silver and White Skull Gin. Then with the Smuggler Pass, which is essentially like a battle pass or a season pass, a mysterious messenger has arrived at the docks of St. Anne, bringing with him brand new blueprints from foreign lands. While he won't trade these for gold, you can complete challenges to get your hands on them. So you have the Carronade, a revolutionary lightweight cannon. The advanced design boasts power, accuracy, and low recoil at the expense of range. You have Wailing Ward, engineered by La Peste's cronies. Its surface is coated to be resistant to their own toxic arsenal. And then we have La Peste Schematics 1, increases damage to weak points to enemy ships by 10%, and it reveals the weak points on the fleet of Pestilence. Then we have updated for the gameplay side of things, the legendary Heist. The Heist ambushers will exhibit more threatening behaviors to players that have obtained the helm-coveted loot. So ambushers will spawn more frequently, and more may spawn each time. Then for Hostile Takeover, they've increased the participation capacity of the following manufactories during a hostile takeover opportunity. So there are a bunch of the coast of Africa, the Red Isles, and the East Indies. They have also rebalanced the generation of opportunities to scale accordingly based on the number of players that have unlocked the region. Then for ship perks, the Badar, they've adjusted the Lancer perk available on the Badar to reduce the flooding status effect's damage dealt. There's a developer note for this one. The Badar's flooding status effect was incorrectly dealing damage against ships that were higher in ship rank. We have added a ship rank adjustment to status effects. The adjustment was made to increase fairness when in combat against PvP and PvE targets. Then for ship rank, they've increased the max cap from 11 to 12, so you can now go up to a level 12 ship. And what they've done to make that more accessible is the gear score of the following epic tier equipment has been adjusted. For the Carronade and the Blue Spectre has been increased by roughly 9%. For the Dardanelles gun and the Twin Winch Ballista has been increased by roughly 18%. Then for the Le Fleur, is that how you say it? The Wrathful Ward and the Black Prince, they've been increased by like more or less 5%. And yeah, there's a developer note saying gear scores have been increased slightly to make the ship rank 12 more accessible. For contracts, for the contract Unwelcome Aboards, the skirmisher spawn rate's been reduced. For the world events, they've changed the colonial ship world event invite conditions Infamy Tier 9, which is Cutthroat. Then in terms of the captain's logbook, when performing a viewing map from a contract giver, the logbook tabs are now disabled and the player can only be in the map tab. For the tutorial stuff, they've updated various world event tutorials to include group gameplay recommendations, and they've updated tutorial text in during the early helm contracts to include information about the disabling of fast travel after currency is collected from the manufactory, and it's disabled until the user returns to the Helm office in St. Anne. For goods and resources, there's a cooldown for using consumable items that is reset now after the player is sunk and they respawn at sea. For the graphics, they've improved resolution of various dialogue cutscenes. Then in others, players may now access photo mode through the action wheel whilst in combat. Then in terms of things they fixed for gameplay, dens like T-Lock, Penjara and St. Anne will no longer be selected as a point of delivery for your Helm wages. When it comes to Cutthroat Cargo, they fixed an issue where the carrier of the legendary map didn't receive a notification and was not able to disembark to an outpost after running out of time. For contracts, notes for business, the contract's now available when the player quits to the main menu and reconnects to the game. For the job board, they fixed an issue where the object for Tavern Fruit is incorrectly updated when the contributors own a partial number of the required item each. They've also fixed an issue where players will not receive any crafting materials to craft the badar if their ship was encumbered while submitting the contract a seaworthy ship. Then they fixed some things for the helm. It's ongoing. They provided a partial fix to allow some affected players that were previously unable to enter the helm office to enter. And it says they recognise that the fix may not impact all affected players that are stuck at the taking the helm contract. Investigation on the issues relating to the contract is still ongoing. If you're still facing issues after the Season 1 patch, then please contact their support team with more details. They've also fixed an issue where players are stuck in an infinite loading screen after they enter the helm office when they've been asked to meet Yanita for the second time. And they fixed an issue where the objective for roving orders from the order registry incorrectly required only one skull rum instead of the intended quantity of 100. Then when it comes to tutorial stuff, they fixed an issue where the tutorial for Cutthroat Cargo was displayed instead of the Helm Wager tutorial when a player first encountered the Helm Wager event. For the goods and resources, the Helm Wager chest should now appear in the player's inventory when the player accepts the Helm Wager activity. For NPCs, they've resolved an issue where the placeholder text was present during the dialogue scene with Admiral Rama upon completion of the contract Dawn of War. And they fixed an issue where the dialogue scene doesn't play when player turns in the helm lease to Yanita. They've also fixed an issue where players have to interact twice with Yanita to make progress in a note of business contract. So then they've done some things for the graphics, they've also done some things for network, and they fixed a bunch of stuff for the UI and the UX. For the graphics, there's only two things, but one of them is increased loading speed of outpost assets during the loading screen that happens while player disembarks from ship on PS5. Then for the network, an example is Ubisoft Connect now closes automatically during a network interruption. And one example for the UI UX is when you're doing a Helm Wager, the target outpost of the Helm Wager is now marked on the compass and the map. And they've done other things like syncing up timers, like for the end game stuff. And then they have one thing for controls. They fixed the control input that enabled players to unlock the helm upgrade without being able to see the upgrade details. Then they've done a few things for audio, like fixed an issue where footsteps are only audible on the left side of headphones. Accessibility, they've got things like the narration feature now reads button labels in the chat window. For achievements, they've done the Pirate Assemble trophy. It didn't unlock for players if they joined the group of two friends by joining them from another world. And then there are 5 things under others. Remember, this is all going to be linked in the description. But one of these, for an example, is fixed an incorrect value shown in-game overview regarding the number of ships that can be crafted. And then at the bottom of that one, they've got miscellaneous localization fixes. So there's a bunch of stuff that they've done for Season 1, which I cannot wait to get my hands on. It's going to drop very, very soon. And just remember, if you want to check out the entire list for yourself of all the patch notes, it's going to be linked in the description. And what we're going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about Season 1 in Skull and Bones in the comments. I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.